a thumbnail real quick. Let me get a thumbnail. Maybe this be the thumbnail. I don't know. Alright, I wanted to say a few things. What was the first one? Let me think real quick. Hold up. Yeah, so when I wake up in the morning, I feel the low vibes. Maybe because I didn't get as much sleep, but I don't know. You feel sort of the low vibes, the crankiness, unless you got a great night's sleep. But I noticed something that during the low vibe states, it's in its inherent nature. It's nothing. There's nobody out to get you, which is why someone may like religious people might feel like the devil's after me, Maya is after me, the devil is after me, the demons are after me, because it feels as if something is against you. But that's the biggest illusion ever. Like when you feel the low vibes, it's the mind's greatest illusion to make you think that you are low vibes, that you're a limited individual. The fact that you could even experience any thought or emotion shows you that you're an infinite being who's capable of doing of experiencing anything basically. Because the fact that if you had something, if you have a cup, right, and you fill that cup up with any type of liquid or material, then there's no more space for the material to be in, right? Hence a thought or whatever. So, but if you have a cup that is an infinite cup, that a cup that never runs out of space, then you have the ability to put anything in that cup. That is the basically what the human is. They're an infinite possibility, infinite space, infinite, no boundaries, no nothing. At the core of the being, that's what we are. We're this infinity. Everything is infinity. The reason you cannot see the infinity is because this infinity currently is identifying with a finite identity. The name Julius, blue, gray shirt, even some shit like that can get you. Like you look at yourself in the mirror and you look, oh, that's Julius, that's me, right? And now you're identified. You look at your environment, oh, this is where I live, this is where I live. And that's how people get stuck, That's how you never get beyond your environment, right? So if you're born rich, you'll probably be rich. If you're born poor, you'll probably be poor. But the only way for the poor person, or the only way for the rich person, well, let's start with the poor. The only way for the poor person to get to the rich level is to go beyond his environment, go beyond his conception of himself, and go and identify a new conception. Now, the only way to go beyond conceptions is to completely break every conception you have of yourself, right? To understand that it's all just an illusion. And when you get to the understanding that it's all an illusion, you're enlightened, right? At the core level. So you begin to have distance between the mental diarrhea going on in your head 24/7, the emotional diarrhea, the body's fidgetness or stiffness. But on the path, it's best to work with these tools. So get the body still, get the body nice and toned and strong, so that less of it affects you, so that you don't have a back pain or a cramp or a upper neck thing. That's the purpose of the postures in yoga. It's people think it's goofy if they don't know, but it's really for getting your body toned up and ready to sit in long stillness. That's the purpose of I don't even call it preparatory yoga. It's a very crucial part for a lot of people. It's not needed, but it reduces the process of the body affecting you. So you be in the thoughts, you be in the emotions. It's so real. Like, why does this happen to me? It's getting you. Even the why does this happen to me is getting you as well. That's what it is. And it will use things that you enjoy. It will really use things that you enjoy. For example, it will get involved in your spirituality. It's very tricky. Like, it will get involved in your spirituality. It would say, man, look how bad I feel. This meditation, this yoga stuff doesn't work. Let's give it up. Or I desire to be enlightened. Like there's no difference between that desire and a desire to go get a donut. There isn't. It's just as painful when you don't have it. It's just as painful when it's constantly fucking with you. So the desire even to get a donut, the desire even to get spiritual enlightenment is the same vibration. Obviously, when you look at spiritual enlightenment, you think, "Oh, I'm free," but remember, this is a trap still. The same, just as strong as a trap of getting a donut. Matter of fact, the person who gets a donut is happier than you because they get to eat the donut and they're fucking happy. The donut gods. But yeah, that's that. Let me think of some more stuff. It doesn't just have to be spiritual enlightenment. It could be like something you enjoy. Like it could be getting in the way of it. Like, oh my god, I have to. Oh my god, I have to. You know, and that's how it does it. It gets involved in what you like, and that it's okay. It's okay. Like that's the nature of the human being. It's a very very powerful tool. It's a very very powerful tool. The human mind is that a lot of people have not even tapped into the capabilities of. It's a very powerful tool. You know, be grateful for it. Love it. That's the best way to go about it. Don't hate it. Don't hate the tool. It's a nuclear bomb. Like it has the power of the energy of a nuclear bomb, maybe even bigger, more power, depending, bro. But it's very powerful, and you just have to learn to drive it, to steer it, to whatever purpose you want. If you don't want to drive, then you stay in the stillness. But if you want to drive, then you can use it, right? It all depends on what you want to do with it. More freedom, more consciousness. Another thing I want to say is, oh yeah, Dr. David Hawkins' vibrational scale. There's a train coming. I might discontinue the video. Yeah, let me pause. Yeah, so Dr. David Hawkins' vibrational scale, I think is a great tool for the Western man, or anybody, but like especially specifically for the Western man, because it's kind of like a game, and it will kind of help people as a challenge. And I think it's something that can become a thing where people try to compete, doing the wrong thing or doing the right thing for the wrong reasons. They're trying to compete to increase their vibrational scale, and as they go up the scale, they'll just be more loving and more kind and more compassionate as a human being. It is a cool thing to get into. That's something that is like lingering in my head, that it could be an idea to get into. But let's just talk about the vibrational scale. The vibrational scale can be used as a tool to let you know where you're at. It can also be used as a tool to let you know how to get even to higher states. So the high states, you might not even be able to contemplate how you can get there, which is pretty normal. Like, how can you go from anger to joy just like that? He mentioned on how to do it. How can you go from anger to peace to enlightenment in just a moment's notice? But obviously he said to let go, just allow everything to happen within you. Don't resist it, which is a great idea. Letting go, don't resisting, just being open, which is something that's cool. But a lot of people can't really just understand how to do that. So if you go level by level, you can get to a pretty good space in a short amount of days, weeks, be much better than where you're at. Typically, though, an angry person wouldn't be able to really, you can't get through to them, especially someone who's in like depression or shame. You can't get through to them. Everything, they ignore you. So it's better to work with the certain qualities just one level above. So for example, if you're at neutral, you can be more willing, more willing to show compassion, more willing to yourself, to life as a whole, because of your life and everything else's life. So show compassion, treat everything as yourself, you know, because it's life and your life. And if you're at, like, it's cool, if you're at willingness, then you can be, you can have more compassion and you can get to acceptance, willingness, accepting everything, accepting everything, not judging. And you can work up your way up with these qualities, still doing your spiritual practices, still getting your daily regimen in, and just adapting these qualities in mind, and it will help you. And then you'll start to get into the states that you can't really somewhat contemplate, because after like acceptance, you start getting into like the love, which is something that just generates from within you. It's not something that you necessarily like consciously force. It's something that you allow. And then you get to the joy, and then you get to the peace, the bliss, and then the enlightenment. And you just work your way up with it. And remember, that's the main thing, the big thing is to work on stillness. To work on stillness. Still the mind, still the being, still the body, and everything else be added on to you. That's it. Anyway, that's what I want to say.